Hey everyone, how's it going there? I'm going to be showing my Vendread build with the new DEVIRITUALs that'll be coming out in Cybernetic Horizon. I'm not so this will be like a pure ritual build, and like the extra deck doesn't matter at all. They're just whatever stuff I felt like I can make, but they don't ever come up. This is purely for the ritual, and yeah, I guess we'll jump right into this. So for the DEVIRITUALs, I run 3 Talismandra and 2 Candle, and the reason for this is like how they work is one of them, so like this guy, Talismandra, you need to have him and a ritual monster in hand to activate his effect, where he will special summon himself from hand and another DEVIRITUAL from the deck. So the DEVIRITUAL that we want to have in the deck is the Candle, and what this one does is that when it's special summoned, you add a ritual spell from your deck to your hand. So basically, this is like your the Talismandra acts as like your first, second, and third way to searching your ritual spell, because we only have one for Vendread so far. Obviously, Flames of Destruction will come out before we get Cybernetic Horizon, so this will definitely change. But this is just showing right now kind of what we can roll with. So this is what actually searches our spell, but this is the way that we get to this guy to search that spell. So we do have multiple ways to our ritual monster, so that's why he comes up a little bit more. But then this also works in the reverse, where if we have a ritual spell in hand and this guy, then we can use him to tutor out this guy from deck to search out a ritual monster. So they kind of go back and forth. So that's how they kind of work. They just up the consistency of getting to our ritual spell and just help getting to our ritual monsters as well. Although we do run many ways to get our monsters. Then for just the mini Vendreads, we run 2 Revenants, 2 Hound Hordes. We run 2 of each of those because they're kind of the main ones that we like to use for our ritual summons. And how they work is that when they're on the field and they get tributed for a ritual summon, the ritual monster gets their effects. It works for all of them, but these 2 kind of are the better ones. And the effect that he gives our ritual monster is a quick effect of targeting one special summon monster our opponent controls and banishing it. And the Hound Horde is targeting a spell and trap our opponent controls and banishing that. And those are both quick effects. Then we run 1 Streeges and 1 Core. The Streeges just has a effect that it gives our ritual monsters, where if it destroys an opponent's monster by battle, you draw 1 card and then discard 1 card. So it's not that great, but the level 2 can come up. And then 1 Core, and it just protects our ritual monster from targeting. Now the Core and the Hound Horde both have graveyard effects, where pretty much any time that they're just sitting in the graveyard, you just activate their effect. For Hound Horde, you discard a Vendread card to special summon it, but then it gets banished when it leaves the field. And Core, you just banish another zombie monster from your graveyard and special summon it from the graveyard. So that just helps them get on the field so that you can actually get their ritual effects. Streeges, this one is if it's sent to the graveyard, so I mean you can send it from your deck thanks to any of these guys, or if you discard it off of any of your other effects, you basically just reveal a Vendread in your hand and special summon it. Revenant's kind of the worst of the pack, just because he needs to be special summoned or normal summoned or special summoned out by other means like Vendread Charge, in order for our ritual monsters to actually get his effect. So now onto our ritual monsters. We got our 3 Slayer. He's like the main one of the deck. He's got like a once per battle quick effect, where during damage calculation you banish 1 zombie from your graveyard and he gains 300 attack. Also with the field spell up, you can boost him quite a bit, because then he can attack. If he destroys a monster, he can attack again against another monster, so he can start getting up there pretty quick with his attack. And also if he's ritual summoned and he's sent to the graveyard, you add 1 ritual spell and send 1 Vendread from your deck to the graveyard, so that comes up quite a bit as well. And then for the other 2 ritual monsters, we run 1 Battlelord and 1 Chimera. I'm kind of uncertain which one I like more out of the 2, to be honest. I like Battlelord. I'd probably make it more than Chimera, but it's got the 2700 attack. He's got the Shockmaster effect, but it's kind of a crappy version because it's not a quick effect. So I mean, your opponent can chain their effects to it. So that doesn't come up too often, but it's there. The other thing that I use it for a lot, though, is if it's as a ritual summon monster, if it's sent to the graveyard, you can add a ritual monster from your deck to your hand and then send a Vendread monster from your deck to the graveyard. Similar to Slayer, but it's just sending a ritual, or adding a ritual monster instead of the spell. Chimera I like because it has like this kind of built-in small bit of protection. When a card or effect is activated that would destroy a card on the field, so it has to only be one card that would be destroyed. You banish one zombie monster from your graveyard, negate the activation, and if you do destroy that card, if this card is tributed or banished, for ritual summon, all monsters your opponent controls lose 500. So that's pretty blanket. He's the smallest one to make, level 5, and in my opinion, probably the coolest looking. I don't know. I like the other ones, but I just like that artwork a lot. But we got the 2 Ash Blossom, so she's a zombie, so she does help. 2 Ghost Ogre and Veilers, just because they're good hand traps. I just like the 2-2-2 ratios right now. For the spells, we got our 3 Knights and 3 Charge. Knights is a discarded card to grab a Vendread monster from your deck to your hand. And also the second effect, which is actually really, really good, especially with Slayer, is when your Vendread monster destroys an opponent's monster by battle, banish one Vendread monster from your graveyard, and it can attack another monster in a row, again in a row. So with the Slayer, with the Vendread Knights up, let's say you attack into something, during the damage calculation, banish zombie, get the 300, plus 300, so you went from 24 to 27, you destroy that shit. Now with Vendread Knights up, you attack into another monster again, banish another zombie, boost up to 3,000, and kill that. Now you just took out 2 monsters, and now you got a 3,000 attack Slayer. With potential quick effects of banishing special summon monsters and spells and traps, as well as Origin Engrave, which kind of acts as pseudo protection. Well, just protection from being destroyed either by battle or card effects. So overall, that's the 2 pair nicely. That's why Slayer's kind of our main boss, because A, it's the name on the ritual spell, and B, just because of this field spell. Now we got Vendread Charge, just kind of tutors out whatever Vendread monster that we kind of need. Specifically, what I like to do if I open Charge and like a Hound Horde or like a Streeges is I discard one of those to special summon out the Revenants. And then I can get their effects from the graveyard to special summon themselves out to perform a ritual summon. And here's our only ritual spell for the deck so far. Origin, this can be used as a ritual summon any Vendread ritual monster from your hand or graveyard. So that's really nice because of all the discard effects for this deck. You can discard your rituals and then just get them right back, so it's not a big deal. And the second effect is if your Vendread Slayer you control will be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead. And also, I don't know if I mentioned, for this ritual spell, the levels can equal or exceed. So their levels don't have to completely equal. That's why we can use Hound Horde and Revenants for the Slayer. And we got our pre-prep, of course, probably the best card in the deck, just because it searches out our Origin and our Slayer. That's kind of the only reason that the deck can somewhat function right now. Then we got Prep of Rites. I only run 1 just because there's kind of like conflict with room. And it's only kind of better if we can get our Origin from grave back to hand, so we want to use an Origin first before we ever use this. 2 called from the grave. Called just being that we can protect ourselves from hand traps, and it's also good if you want to just take out an opponent's monster in their graveyard and stop them from using it. Foolish Burial, of course, a lot of these have graveyard effects, so we can just dump them and then use them. And for like those long running games, we got Reunion and Revolution. Reunion is reveal one ritual monster in your hand, special summon any number of your banished Vendreads with different names in face down defense position, whose total levels equal the level of the revealed ritual monster. So then you tribute those monsters and get a ritual summon. So you get a ritual summon on your opponent's turn, and because you get to tribute those guys, that ritual monster gets their effects. So if late game, you're going to have a bunch of these guys all banished. So you bring back, say, your Revenants and your Hound Horde, you can get a Battle Lord out, or you like Revenants and Streeges, or just all these 3, doesn't matter. You can bring out a Slayer, and then they'll get lots of effects, and it can happen on your opponent's turn, which is just a little bit of a bonus. It's okay at 1, because you definitely don't want to open with it, and that's the same with the other trap. You don't want to open with it at all either. It's a discard 1 card for Vendread Revolution, then target 1 Vendread monster and 1 ritual spell in your graveyard, special summon the monster, and then add the ritual spell to your hand. But what's nice is the second effect, where you get to shuffle back 5 of your banished monsters and draw 1 card, so it helps you recycle. And again, that's only good late game as well. But let's get right into the duels here. I've talked long enough. Alright, so this first matchup is against Tindangle Crawler, so like kind of like a flip deck. Anyways, he won the die roll, so he went first and just sets 2. I drew into pre-prep, going second, so pre-prep is definitely one of the best cards in the deck. I foolished Hound Horde. I would just use the foolish just to try to bait out an Ash if there was anything, but there wasn't. Then I activated pre-prep, hoping that it was safe, but the Hound Horde does come up. So he activates that to get his effect off his Crawler. Then I Knights, discard the core for Revenants, normal summon the Revenants, and then Hound Horde in Graveyard I can activate. I'll just discard the Slayer for that to special summon it. And then now I tributed both of them for the Slayer in my Graveyard. Now he's got 2 effects. One is to banish spell and traps, and the other is to banish special summon monsters. So let's get rid of that trap, attack in. Now I can boost his attack up. So I got a charge and Origin in hand, so we're looking not too shabby, but drew into another one, but that's okay. Discard it for a search. And just go from there. It kind of sucks attacking blindly into these set cards because you don't know what they are, but I'm thinking, what ones does he have? I can protect my Slayer with the Origin and Graveyard, so my concern isn't too high. Draw into another Knight, so I'll discard that for a Chimera. And now I can Ritual Summon that out, so now I can protect against targeting destruction effects, and he has a, also now this Chimera can also pop, or banish spells and traps and special summon monsters. So now he special summoned 2, and I believe he quits because I just managed to banish both of these special summoned monsters, and that's game right there. Alright, so for this one I won the die roll. Unfortunately I don't have any means of baiting out Nash, so I just gotta go pre-prep blind. Not a big deal. So what I did is I charged, sending out the Hound Horde to special summon out Revenants from the deck. And now with Hound Horde in the Graveyard, I can discard the Slayer to get out the Hound Horde. And then Origin up for a Slayer with both the best effects. In my opinion, they're the best effects anyways. And pass on with that. Now then I can Ash that. Oh, and does he... Oh yeah, he quits on this one. That's something I had a hard time with this deck, is just finding people that don't quit. I mean, I guess it's with any deck. I don't know if anyone else has those problems, but I believe this guy I got a good duel with, but just with that last one there, I kind of keep forgetting which people actually played for longer, but some people, as soon as you get any kind of leg up or whatever, they leave. But this one should be a better one. So I won the die roll here, but I can't really make any plays, so I pretty much just search out a Slayer, and that's that. But I do have 2 hand traps, so that's hopefully enough to defend myself. I'll Effect Veiler that Manju. So he's playing a DEVIRITUal variant of Shino Birds. But, yeah, he attacks me, pokes for a little bit of damage, didn't do too bad because of the upstart there. And then, of course, I open into a Candle, which kind of sucks. Ashes my Knights, then I charge. Just so that I can attack over this Manju. I didn't want him poking me anymore. Ash the pre-prep. Probably the best thing I could do. Then I get a Talismandra, so that kind of sucks because now I got rid of my Ritual monster. So poke for a little bit of damage and pass, and now he's laughing because he gets the full shebang here. So that's what you can do with the DEVIRITUALs, is because he drew into that monster, he could special summon it, Talismandra, then he could search out for the Ritual spell for it and get out his Ritual monster. At least with these, they got to bounce back to hand at the end, so pokes for a bunch of damage, everything bounces back, he leaves some tokens. But then I draw into Knights, so then I could search for a Ritual monster. Now I can use my Talismandra to search for my Ritual spell. So now I can destroy something or banish something that's special summoned, and now I can attack into 2 monsters. So that's why I didn't boost his attack up, because I had to use the effect on Vendread Knights to pop both tokens. So now he's just drawing and setting stuff. So unfortunately I made the mistake. I should have attacked with my higher attack monster. I probably could have finished this up a little bit sooner, but not a big deal. Now I decided to start boosting my Slayer's attack. Now he normal summons the Rock and just beats over my Revenants. Rock sends himself back and pretty much attack for game here. So this was another good matchup against heroes. Unfortunately I lose this one, but it was a really good match, so I just got to show it. So I let him e-call, go for the Solid Man, but I availer that. Now that I foolish my Hound Horde, so now I can get both effects out. Thankfully I had the Talismandra and the Battlelord in hand. So I get the full thing, but pretty much when you look at this, what you see the problem is that now these two monsters are useless. So I got one useful monster and one useful card in hand. So I mean, that's the main problem with ritual decks, is that you just lose advantage really fast. These things just sit there and do nothing. And I mean, you can use them for ritual summons, but I wanted to get the effects for Battlelord. So anyways, he special summoned something out. I happened to banish that and banish his special summoned his Dion there and attack for a bit of damage. But now he Honest Neoses me, and that just ruins me up pretty good because I can't get into a ritual spell after that. Decided to Ash his E-Call just because he had minimal monsters in hand. So now I got a Slayer that can banish spells and traps. So that BLS is what comes back and bites me in the butt. So it looks like I'm in control, but then the hero lives. That's what does me in. I should have saved an Ash for that, but the BLS banishes my Slayer, and now he's in control. He's got his Dark Law out, and there's just nothing I can do. I draw into another Slayer. I pass this turn just because I'm like, okay, I can hold out for enough damage. If I can get like another ritual spell or something, I might be able to do something, but it's just not the case. And yeah, Vendread Knights, that I can't make any plays with that, so that is that. But we'll finish this up with a good matchup. This is against Trickstars, and you know, for the whole time it looks like he's gonna win. I mean, look at that opening hand. He's got the two mirror forces that just they don't destroy. They don't do anything to my. They don't do anything that I could like react to with my Slayer. So this is really good. And I don't know why it's showing present card right now. I think it's because it's something that he top decks. Anyways, I get to go first, so I use my Talismandra to get out my Candle to search. Now that I got one that can destroy special summon monsters. Yeah, he draws into the present card. So I see this and I'm like, okay, this is going to be an interesting matchup. So he's got the three Lycris, which is, I'm actually kind of thankful that he had all three of them, because it allowed me to take care of pretty much all of them really fast with this one Slayer that could banish special summon monsters as a quick effect. So yeah, he gets all those out. I was a little bit concerned about his back row, but I was like, I can protect my Slayer with my Origin Engrave. So anyways, I'll destroy another one of his, or banish another one of his Lycris. But I set first just to... present card was actually kind of nice. That helped me out a lot. But I set that first just because I wasn't sure if he had a reincarnation or anything. And I wanted to keep my field spell. Like, you don't want to lose those at all. You want to keep those going. This guy might be a little bit new to Trickstars as well, because he wasn't using Light Stage's effect to, what is it, call a set card or whatever. Yeah. So anyways, I'm gonna get out my my Chimera with two effects: the banish spells and traps, and banish special summon monsters. So there we go. Took care of all the Lycrises. Took care of his blazing mirror force, but the storming got me. So that kind of hurt. But now I got Slayer with no effects. I ashed the Candina, hoping that this will be good enough. But light stages for a Carabine. And I wasn't... At first, I was attacking into this because I thought what I could do is... well, I'll just show you. What I was thinking was that I could activate Designator, but then I reread it, and it doesn't discard as a cost. So it was my bad for what I pulled off here, but it still worked in the end. I just protect him with my Origin Engrave anyways. So now he draws into a Reincarnation, attacks into my high defense monster that he just saw me search. So helped me get into a pre-prep, so I appreciate the Reincarnation there. And pretty much I got this set now, and he's not using Light Stage whatsoever, so anytime that I'm going to see him try to revive something with Reincarnation, I would just activate the Designator. Anyways, now I banish the Light Stage and go start on the attack, and he just quits, because from there there's nothing left. I got 1700 life points left, but at this point there's not much else that he could do. So yeah, that's it for my Vendreads right now. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Let me know if there's anything I could do to make this deck a bit better. You know, it's still a little kind of, it can be a little bit grindy, and it's just tough because there's not enough space to get the searching that you want, but then also that would lower the consistency anyways. Yeah, I don't know, like at the same time in all those duels, these never came up, but you know, I could definitely see at times where if you are going that extra mile, then these would be kind of important in order for your whole deck to just not fizzle out and be able to do nothing. So I could probably drop the hand trap ratio, but at the same time it's kind of the only way to defend yourself going second, and you really don't want to be playing through a bunch of disruption either. So but yeah, so again, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and have a good one.